in town and have quite a team of WAMSB officials and personnel here, and I'll introduce some of those to you today. But first of all, I want to thank the city of Buchanan for hosting this event. I love little towns. I grew up in a small little town in Texas, much like this, and you know everybody that grows up there and everybody that works there, and so it's good because it takes a village to raise a kid, doesn't it? And everybody's watching out for everybody. Test, we're back on the air, good. Okay, so anyway, we're happy to be here, and I'm not Randy Sanders, so don't expect the announcing that you got last night. That was fabulous. That was a great event, beautiful way to open the ceremony. So let me tell you a little bit who's here in your city, because this is very interesting. We have people from all parts of the world. Our judges today, young man up here from Slippery Rock, Mr. Helmick, right there waving, and then in the middle is Rick Good from Auburn University. They let him Alabama on the weekend pass out of Alabama. And then we have Brian Ingleson, who's from Canada, via Canada. He's down in Palm Springs. And Brian is one of our judges today. Also, in the audience today, we have two gentlemen visiting from Denmark. They're here to look at the festival and how it works. Henning Skovenberg, where's Henning? Right up there. And Kevin Anderson. And then we also have our German, our Stefan and Torsten here. They'll be a little later. We have two visiting personnel from Germany who just hosted a championship in Resti, Germany last week. Stefan and Torsten, we'll meet them a little later. So we have quite a panel. Our supervising judge today is John Phillips. John works with DCI, Drum Corps International, and he's here to keep these guys in line up there. John Phillips. So we have some spouses from some of our other judges. Also, we have Dieter Buschau from Germany. Dieter is going to be one of our field judges today, his wife Angelica. And we have Jim Ford. Where's Jim? Maybe he's going to the other. And we have everybody scattered. Jim Ford and his wife Maureen are here. So you have people visiting Buchanan from all over the world. Isn't that cool? And it was so nice last night to watch the bands parade by from Honduras, El Salvador, Sweden, Switzerland, the band from Ghana, West Africa. I mean, who would have thought that all these people have come to Buchanan? And you're such a gracious host. And thank you for coming this morning. Sometimes these events aren't well attended. I fully expected we'd have a good crowd, and we do. So thank you. Show your appreciation for all these kids. The first band is the Wooden Brass Band from Poland. And as you know, they arrived, but their luggage did not, nor their instruments. So that's tough. But the communities around Buchanan and yourselves have been very gracious in loaning them instruments. And I suspect some clothing. I don't know how that's working. I've been there with my band. I'm from Texas Tech, and on the WAMSB jury panel also I'm announcing today, which is a good job. But I had a student leave a bag in Frankfurt, Germany, so everybody was giving him underwear and jeans and shoes. It worked. So his bag was in Odessa waiting for him when he got back after the trip. So hopefully the Polish clan will have their belongings soon. The Wooden Brass Band is directed by Christopher Sefion, and you're going to hear some different things today, not full instrumentation bands. Some are just like you heard last night, the piccolo band and drum. I was in Germany and Poland last week. We heard just brass bands, just drum bands. I've seen accordion bands. I mean, the world is a big place, and everybody does things differently. So that's the unique thing about bringing them all together. They qualify at their local events, and if they make a certain score, then they're eligible to come to the world. Of course, many of them can't because of passports, visas, financial concerns. There's just a lot of pieces to the puzzle to put together when you're organizing a group trip. So the bands that have come here have worked very hard, raising not only money, but jumping through all the hoops, jumping through all the security at passport and customs. I mean, it's a nightmare when you're traveling with a group. So there was a really fine band from Venezuela that was supposed to be here, and he was looking so forward to it, and he's in deep despair because they couldn't get visas. They would only give them, I think, 50 visas, and he has like 100 or so in his band, and so that wasn't going to work. So hopefully he'll be at the one in Germany next year with his group. They saved the funds. So I just want you to know the struggles that these kids go through, and not all kids. As you see, most of the bands in the world are not school bands like we're accustomed to. They're community bands, and they range in ages from 7 to 65, you know. In Poland a couple of weeks ago, you see this gentleman walking down the street with a tuba. He's probably 75 years old, my age. And then you see a little kid right next to him playing a trombone. So it's really neat. They're community bands. They meet maybe once or twice a week. They don't have everyday rehearsals like we do. They don't have access to a lot of the equipment that we do. So we accept everybody. It's a one world thing, and we judge them on what they do and how they do it. So it doesn't matter what they do, it's how they do it. So they could get up here and do a dance with a piccolo, and if it's done well, they get a good score. So sort of kind of understand what the system is now. There are 4 events. We're going to have it started with a concert band this morning. Then we have the drum battle tonight. We have a street parade, and we have a field parade, and then we have a field show. I guess that's 5 events. So everybody gets points, and I guess the grand champion will be, all the points will be added up. That's how that works. Any questions? Sure, yeah. Just no flashes, you know, don't want to distract the performers. I'm stalling in case you're interested. The Polish band is getting some last minute equipment. So I guess I could tell you a joke. I guess you can understand my dialect from Texas. You know, I have to say that John Denver went to Texas Tech. So we always tell our West Virginia friends that, yeah, you got the song, but we got the guy. Who was kicked out of the Texas Tech band because he had long hair. He played baritone. He wouldn't cut his hair, so they said, you're gone. And that was before my time. But little side story there. So this duck walks into a convenience store. He goes, quack, quack, got any grapes? And the guy says, no, we don't have any grapes, and we don't serve ducks. You need to leave, don't come back. Next day, the duck sneaks in through the electronic door. Quack, quack, got any grapes? The guy says, no, we don't have any grapes, and I told you not to come back. If you come back again, I'm going to nail your feet to the floor. Next day, the duck came, quack, quack, got any nails? The store says, no, we don't have any nails. He said, got any grapes? Simple little story, a clean story, not offensive to anyone. Hopefully no one's offended. If you are, tough. Hello. They should be coming soon. So this band actually was in Germany a week ago. Good, okay? So the wood and brass, you don't see any wood, but it's woodwinds is what they're talking about there. Okay, woodwind and brass band from Poland under the direction of Christopher Sifian, and he's going to be coming out in a moment. And oftentimes you'll see their directors on concert stage. They'll be also leading the band as a drum major. So they do things a little different than we're accustomed to. So just know that, and then you don't have to say, what's he doing that. Okay? So we have some late minute additions on instruments this morning. The gentleman brought some saxophones in for these youngsters. You know what it's like traveling to a foreign country. If some of you have done that, I'm sure, and you go to a country and you look, I don't know that word. Well, you know, you can imagine what they're going through and learning. Fortunately, many of the youngsters know English. They take English in school. So when we go to Poland and the words are this long with a lot of S, K, Y's, and Z's and W's, it's very difficult. But they've overcome all that. So they're going to be performing for us this morning. 3 pieces. The first one is the Best of Ed Sheeran, written by Peter Kleiner Schars. He's from the Netherlands. The Lion King by our own John Higgins, and Show Unity by Powell Studio. So, Christian, are you ready? Please welcome to the stage Christopher.
We are waiting for our musical sheets. They are right now printing. And now we have to decide. We play from our remembrances, or we are waiting 2 minutes for musical sheets. Please forgive us our uniforms, but it's a situation we couldn't do nothing with it, unfortunately. So we will wait, I hope, 1 or 2 minutes for musical sheets. Could we?
Yeah, wait a few more minutes.
Okay.
Somebody wants to print the music for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Palmer is printing our musical sheets right now.
We'll wait.
Okay. Thank you. And I would like to just, with my band, with Utan Brasman from Poland, just very heartily thank you for all of you, and especially for Backend community for very kind help, very heartful guests for us, and it's really impressive, and we appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
I bet next time they travel, they'll be told to wear black slacks, a white shirt, carry an extra pair of underwear, toothbrushes, warm pajamas. Hey, look, look at those shirts on. It's a nice shirt.
It's a piece for the audience.
Test, test, there we go. So they're waiting for some music to be copied. You can imagine everything's lost. They lost some music probably, but we're waiting on the Lion King to arrive, yes?
We are afraid the sheet will not come.
Yeah.
So, our decision is to play without musical sheets. We hope we do.
Oh, they're gonna play it without the music for the percussion. Oh, the percussion can do it.
We will try.
Yes. Thank you for country road. Thank you, wooden brass band from Poland. Didn't you enjoy those faces and those smiles? Great job. Thank you very much. You know, music is a universal language. Isn't that incredible? They pick up instruments they've never seen, and they tune up and they play. It's wonderful. So, what in the world, what are the judges looking for? Some of you might not know this. I'll just kind of give you an overview. So there are three basic things. First one is tone. Next one is musicianship, well, technique, and then musicianship. So under tone, the judges are looking for good characteristic sounds on the instruments, good tone quality, playing in tune, not with only your section, but playing in tune with the other sections in the band. So there's a pitch center, tone quality, and a tuning center in the band. The next big thing is technique. Do they articulate or tongue all the notes together the same way, the same length, short or long? Technique, and do they have the technical facility to play all the fast notes, and are they able to handle that with note accuracy, the correct notes, so the correct note in the right place. So it's a big challenge when you're looking at dots on a page, and many of you have been in bands, so you understand this. So it's a strange language if you've never read music. You're looking at a dot on the page, and it's on a staff, and it's either sharp or flat or natural, and they have to put that note in the right place, in the right rhythm. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of processing going on when students are performing in a band. And the third area is musicianship. And I think you all felt a little tingle in your heart in a couple of places in there. So they projected the emotion of the piece and gave it musicality. They shaped the phrases, and it was meaningful to you. The other way, if it's not emotional and pretty, it's exciting and energetic, and I think you felt that. We certainly did on Country Road. So they did a great job of projecting those elements of performance. So that's kind of what this is about, and some bands do it a little stronger than others. Some bands have more maturity, and you can tell we have youngsters in here, we have older people, but they blended together nicely. And all across the world, I've found that you put an instrument in a student's hands, and they just brighten up. And when they learn to play it, it's a life-lasting thing. And the uniform, you know, hopefully their uniforms will be here by the time the other events happen, but keep our fingers crossed. Okay, so that's sort of that in a nutshell. That's what the judges are looking for. They'll confer, and after they've written down their scores, and they'll see if they're together. I think they will be. These guys are experienced. So, the next band, here in a little bit, and I'm not going to be able to fill up all this time. I only have so many corny jokes. But, we'll wait. The next band is going to be from Honduras, one of, and there are only 8 bands today, so don't panic. We understand the mind cannot absorb what the bottom cannot endure, so it'll be short and sweet. So we have the first 3 bands, that one and 2 more, then there's a break, because one band is not able to be here. So we have 3 bands, and then 3 bands, and 2 bands, so 8 bands total. So stay here and support these people. You see, did you see their face brighten when you stood up and they were standing on it? Do it for every band, what the heck, you know? And it's good to stand up and wiggle and stretch, you know? And they appreciate it. You could see them just beam, and they were so happy that they pleased you with their music. As I said, they don't always have school systems where our students grow up in a middle school and they have beginner band, then they go to intermediate band, then they go to high school, and they have a developmental process where they're being taught how to play the instrument, how to do performance fundamentals and ensembles and everything. In places like Poland or other places, they have, like I said, community bands, and sometimes they get private instruction from a local person or the conductor perhaps, or an older student. I know in Japan, they simply go with the senpai kohai, where the older student teaches the younger student, and that's the way it happens. And that's the way it happens across the world. Okay, so the next band is getting their setup ready. Let me introduce them. It's the Bethel from Honduras, connected by Eduardo and Wendy Gomez. I think brother and sister. I think that's what I heard. And they're gonna play some rocky music from Santana. Everybody knows Santana, written by Carlos Santana, Malagueña, and Medley Fiesta. So this is gonna be exciting music. And we're gonna enjoy this in just a moment. All the way from Honduras. This gentleman made a great speech last night. I think he kind of does everything. Oh, and like the trumpet, so it's okay to, in a concert band setting, if a soloist, if they play a solo, it's okay to go ahead and clap. Let that student or that adult know that what they did was appreciated. That's okay, it's cool. We're all friends. We want to be encouraging and positive, and that helps them play better. Just from a director's point of view, this took a lot of work in getting a concert uniform here and a marching uniform and the instrument and their luggage. So congratulations to this making the extra effort to do that. I think it just stays. I think it's just take it off. There you go. Just do that. I'll turn mine off so yours.
known by its culture, traditions, myth, and most of all by its people. It is formed by different ethnic groups such as Mayan Chortis, Tolupanes, Chorotegas, Mezquitos, and something called the Garifunas, which have created a rhythm and which has allowed their music to transcend the borders of Honduras. That's the reason why we're proudly to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, La Punta from the Bethel Marching Band.
Muchas gracias para tu atención. Thank you very much. Wasn't that fun? Yes, that was fun. Great job. From Honduras, the Cortez Latin Band. So it looks like joke time. Have you heard the one about the duck going, oh, we told that one. Okay. I don't want to use all my ammunition early. But we have a little stall time here. So any questions about performances? You know, another thing the judges listen for is transparency. You know, the conductor looks at the score, and the conductor sees all the parts, from piccolo all the way down to timpani. Every part is on the conductor's score. The students just have their part, of course. So it's very important that as the judges are listening to a group, that they can hear all those parts. Transparency, we call that balance. So you balance within your section and you balance across the ensemble. So it's very transparent and clear. It's like looking through a window, and if it's really dirty and hazy and cloudy, you can't see all the detail. And that's sort of like listening to a band. If you can't hear all the parts, it's sort of confusing. So we want to look through the window and see the trees, the bird, the cloud, whatever, the drone, you know, whatever's out there. So that's another thing that judges listen for, is balance in the band and excitement. We certainly had that. So there's this man and woman happily married for 50 years. Every day they took a walk down to the park. And so one day they said, let's go a different way. Let's go by the school. We haven't been by there in a long time. So they went by this school, had a really high fence to protect the students. And so as they got nearer, they would hear the students in the courtyard saying, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. What's going on? So they went onto the park. A couple hours they came back by and they kept hearing 12, 12, 12, shouting over and over. So the guy said, I'm going to go over and see what's going on. He looked through a little peephole and a finger poked him in the eye and he heard 13, 13, 13, 13. So students are very innovative. You've got to be very careful. That's like these soloists that stand up there without music. They're improvising. So they're taking the basic tune and they're improvising extra notes. So sometimes you hear a jazz solo and you say, man, that doesn't make any sense to me. But they're creating that in their mind. They're taking the basic, hopefully you get a little education on listening for in concert bands. And then similarly in marching bands, there are other details we'll talk about later. I may not try to educate the audience quite so much on that tonight, but any questions? We want you to enjoy this time here in Buchanan and your beautiful facility here at the Wesleyan University. Really excellent. If anyone has any questions, I'll attempt to answer. If not, I'll fake it. Okay, the judges are putting their scores together. They're not using pencil and paper. There's a new program called Competition Suite, and they can record their comments. They're recording their comments into a speaker or in their iPhone or whatever they have, or an iPad, and they're recording the comments as the band performs. It's live time. So the director will get those 3 recordings, and he'll be able to hear the comments about what they're doing in specific places in the music, which is a very neat program. After the band performs, then the judges write down a score, what they did, how they did it. And then those scores feed automatically to the master schedule, and it's all calculated in a spreadsheet. It's all added up, and there are no numbers added. It's automatic. So those scores go directly to the directors, the recordings, and then the overall recap sheet at the end of the festival will push a button, and all the results go to the conductors and whoever they put on their list to receive those. So it's a very neat way of judging. We're glad they're doing that here in Buchanan. You know, Randy and Lee, those guys have worked so hard to put this together. And I know they probably grew up here, and you all know them. You know, back when they were, lighting fires and breaking windows and doing all the things teenagers are not supposed to do. But what a great ambassador for your city. He came to WAMSB, like I say, 2.5 years ago, and presented a plan, and everybody liked that. And I've found judging across the world, in Japan and Malaysia and Thailand and Philippines and Hong Kong and Brazil, all those places, the little towns seem to be more fun. Now, the big city, you've got the traffic, you've got the issues with even getting to a place on time, and they're not they don't have any skin in the game. In Buchanan, this is bringing business to your town. It's bringing notoriety, and it's certainly exposing the world to little town America, which, like I said earlier, I'm from a small town, and I think this is great. So we find that the small town is excellent. Last week or two in Restede, Germany, which is up in what they call Lower Saxony, northern part of Germany, near Hamburg, Germany. They had a great festival, and the two gentlemen that hosted that are here this week. I'm not sure where they are this morning. I think they came this morning to the concert, and they'll be at the parade and everything. But they hosted a great event. Restede is a little larger than Buchanan, but the community turned out. Now, different in Germany, lots of beer drinking, lots of brats, lots of fun. I mean, it was a fest from the word go. If you can imagine Oktoberfest in July, they had it. It was just different. You go to different parts of the world, and they celebrate differently, but it was really fun. So small towns are fun for us to visit, and to think that these guys flew in from Malaysia and from Germany and everywhere to be in Buchanan. That's really cool. It's exciting to hear these bands from Honduras. And their ethnic style of the last piece they played, that was really fun and very enjoyable. We're going to hear some more. I know that the Polish band was preparing Country Roads a couple of weeks ago over in Germany. I heard them play it there, and I thought, oh, that's cool. They're going to play that. People are going to go crazy. And so you did, and that's what you're supposed to do. Enjoy, because they worked hard on that. You know, and they even do the words. That was what was cool. Did you see them singing? Yeah. And then the dancers that came out with this band from Honduras, local flavor, that's very, very cool. So, fun things. We're ready? Oh, Mr. Wynn, do you have a door guard? Yeah. This is Blue Wynn. So, did you go out transplant? Where are you from? Philadelphia. Is that near Dallas? Hey, could you put a door guard out there so people don't come in during the performance? Yeah, you're a good man. Thank you, Lee. Okay, we have the next band coming on stage. Cortez Latin band from Honduras. Their director is Wilmer Matamoros. And they're styling in their uniforms and green ties, looking good. Well, I see some conga drums. This is going to be exciting. Going to be exciting. Not one set, but 3 sets. I've never seen first, second, and third conga drums, but we're going to have it. Now you got to smile. And I've never seen such beautiful dresses. Okay. And the Cortez Latin band from Honduras will play Goscaron by Luis Silva, arranged by Jorge Montoya. Mambo 5 by Perez Brado, arranged by Mario Medina, and Mi Viola Azor de Caracol, I think, arranged by Jorge Montoya. Let's welcome again the band from Honduras. Thank you. Muchas gracias. How cute. Exciting. I'd like to interview those two little girls in the front row flute. They couldn't understand me probably. That was fun. Thank you for being a great audience. We have a break now. The next band from Ghana is not going to perform, so we won't move the next band up because of transportation. So take about a 30-minute break and shake each other's hands, meet the people on your right and left, go to the restroom, fabulous facilities, or just relax.
The what? They had like 4 extra things.
They're going to come on in just a few minutes. They're backstage waiting. So thank you very much for your patience, and I hope you enjoyed a little break. Many of you have come up and offered to help the Polish band, and that's really, really courteous and generous of you. Good news is their luggage arrived. They're unloading their suitcase. The bad news is the instruments have not arrived, but the good people of Buchanan and surrounding communities gave them instruments. They sounded great this morning on those instruments, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at least they have their luggage. Can you imagine? You know, all the personal things. So we're excited. Okay, the next band, let's bring them on the stage. We have a band from Honduras. This one is Banda Juvenile Philharmonia. The tuba player never gets clapped for. He's always last in line. Only the flutes. We'll wait till they get on stage and give them the warm West Virginia welcome. And thank you for not entering or leaving during a band's performance. In between tunes, that's cool if you need to pop out. Oh, there we go. Seeing a young lady carrying the sousaphone reminds me of being a band director trying to talk to little kids about, yeah, you really would enjoy playing that sousaphone. Bigger than I am. But you'll grow into it, right? They always do. So you've seen a wide range of ages. You saw little girls, their feet didn't touch the floor in that last band. Well, it's awesome. I have an 8-year-old granddaughter, and I can see that happening. Concert master, give him a tuning note. So this. So the next band is under the leadership of Mr. Jackson Burke. They're going to play Los Pericos by Herrera, arranged by Herrera, Potpourri, a Honduran folk song, and Rico Mambo by Herrera. Let's welcome one more time.
The first piece is a potpourri medley of the reggae.
Okay,
The first piece.
a medley of Honduran folk songs.
Yeah. No, the full song is
Three songs in there. Okay. Okay, very good. So let's give them one more welcome. band from Sweden. So on the list this afternoon, we have the band from Sweden, El Salvador, and Switzerland, and Hong Kong. This will be a great lineup this afternoon. Please come back after you enjoy lunch, and be safe. Thank you.